GaySA Radio with your family. My name is Ethan, and I'm chatting to Ray. He is a producer on the Steam Room, basically my right-hand man when it comes to producing this entire show. And he had a very interesting experience recording the content you're about to hear. So we're going to be looking at two segments coming up very shortly. Both were panel discussions that we recorded at an open mic day. And these were on two topics that at first glance don't seem incredibly interesting on face value, but once we actually dug into the content, became incredibly interesting. So the open mic days. Tell us about the open mic day. What happened?
Primarily, when it comes to open mic day, it's always just about sourcing content for the Steam Room. And firstly, it started at a stage of Vox Pops, right? And where we ask one-on-one questions about a certain topic that is the topic for that show on that particular day. And then after that, have panel discussions where we would ask people the same questions. And it was so incredible because just the other day in August, we went to Soweto at Anova Health Institute just to chat to some of the people from Soweto side and Johannesburg side. And with the answers we got, normally we do get these answers over the phone in the form of Vox Pops, and it just seems so unreal. So when you see the people physically answer and are right in front of you, and you're just like, oh my gosh, this is actually happening. And we realized on that day that we are facing men that have sex with men in South Africa right now, because that's our major focus right now, is facing so many problems and so many issues that in a way, we are kind of holding the torch and trying to find help and find solutions for it. But hence, the Steam Room does offer also very educated and well-informed expert advice. And we go out and we try and get the best expert opinions from professionals who can help these people that go through these issues. But also, I think it's bigger than that, and we need to do more. But apart from that, yeah, that is what open mic day is. We all sit together, we share our experiences, we are open, we are comfortable, we are candid about our experiences, and we hope that some other people that are listening and the listeners of the Steam Room and GaySA Radio are able to relate and are able to get in touch and engage and take the help that we give them from our experts.
Yeah, because and you'll hear the content coming up very soon. We're going to start with the smoking panel discussion. Mm-hmm. There's some weird opinions that came out of there. Some of those guys, the strangest lives, have led the strangest experiences, and because of that, have really odd opinions when it comes to, there's that one guy who said that his partner started smoking because he smokes, and because the partner didn't want to feel left out or something. So that's weird.
And that's just one of the few things that really opened our eyes. Like, for instance, there was one of them being an expert from Anova who was seated on the panel, and he heard these answers, and he was also not feeling okay with these answers that are coming from his fellow peers. And he was like, we've got skills, we've got opportunities, we've got the internet, we've got so many things at our fingertips. Why can't we make most of those? And why can we not do other things instead of going the wrong direction? And the response that came from the floor, from amongst the attendees, was that you don't know if I'm eating tonight. You don't know if I'm going to eat tomorrow. So I have to do what I have to do to make sure I survive. And hearing that, you will probably hear that in coming up now. But then hearing that to us was just striking. It was shocking. We didn't know how to even respond to that. Hence the need of expert opinions of people that can really dissect these issues and answer them the way they need to be answered.
Yeah, because I think when you don't know the extent of the problem until you actually start to speak to the people, and once you do, you realize there's huge societal problems that we really need to address.
Absolutely, and where they root from.
Yeah. Okay, so ready with your family? You listen to the Steam Room. That is me and Ray chatting about open mic days and his experience with that. And right now we're going to listen to the smoking panel discussion that happened, and then after a bit, we're going to get into the blood donation one as well. Keep streaming on GaySA Radio with your family.
So has smoking negatively impacted your sex life? No. And we'll just ask you here, and then we'll take it to the floor.
Is that by me?
Yes.
Okay.
Even if you're not a smoker, have you had an encounter with a smoker and the sex was, the sexual encounter was bad because of their smoking?
Actually, I did, and it makes everything to go blah, I didn't enjoy anything about them because of, I hate smoke people. I just hate them.
Wow.
Yeah, I just hate them, and I once kissed a smoker one day, and then it felt so terrible. So,
You didn't like the taste?
yeah, sure. Very terrible. So, for me, it's a no business.
Okay, for me, I don't smoke, but I don't hate guys who smoke. I feel that taste in their mouth. I feel that smell in their mouth, and I enjoy it, especially for the guys who smoke weed.
Weed.
Wow. Very particular.
And you, Tina?
Actually, I'm a smoker. Yeah, I'm a smoker. No, I love smoke. Like, I love smoking a lot. I also smoke weed also. And Leslie, we love you a lot, honey. Yes. So I enjoy smoking a lot.
And it has never impacted your relation life, whether romantic relation life.
No.
In any way, you've never had to kiss someone or be with someone and they're like, no, you smell, or...
No.
Okay.
I've not done that because always when I have to go to kiss someone, I always have sweets in my bag.
So you do acknowledge that it doesn't taste nice.
It doesn't for some people. So you have to understand that as we people, we different. Some people, they love smoking, some they don't. So I always have to carry some sweets on my bag. Yeah.
Anybody in the crowd who's had a bad experience with a smoker?
Oh, I'm saying I was once with somebody who was smoking rock, and then the sex life with him wasn't as pleasurable as it was supposed to be. It was like I was alone in bed and he wasn't there at all because he couldn't respond positively to the whole activity, and it just turned off the mood.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I've got a problem about my ex. Before he can be holy, he have to smoke first. We can romance, you can do everything, but when he don't smoke, he can't be holy.
So you try other things?
Yes, I can blue job him, I can do whatever, suck him or do whatever, but he can't. That's how he can't get the switch. He can't. So I have to dump him because it's useless. When you don't have coatl or weed, you can't do anything.
Yeah, one last one. It impacted bad because I smoke, ne? And my partner doesn't smoke, so he always had this comments like he's kissing an ashtray. So it came to a point of it's either we don't kiss anymore or you start to smoke, and he's smoking not out of his will, just because to balance the things, and he hates it. But
so he started smoking for you.
Yes.
Sure. What are some of the general dangers surrounding smoking
that you are aware of?
That you're aware of?
Cancer.
TB. So do you think those are important things that we need to highlight and look into and consider, especially for our lives?
Yes. And also sinus.
Sinus.
Yes.
Very important sinuses.
Can I ask the smoker, if you were to decide to stop smoking, how would you stop smoking?
Oh my gosh, I don't imagine myself stopping smoking anyway. But I don't know. I think I could just I would have to drink everything just to avoid smoking.
So you'd have to replace one drug with
Yes,
another.
yes. Because I think something like every day, even in the morning when I wake up, first thing in the morning before I even wash my face, when I go to the toilet, first thing in the morning I have to go with a cigarette.
For our lives as LGBTI, it brings a lot of risk in unprotected sex because it depends what you smoke though. So, because other people tend to smoke strong things which they drift away your mental state, and we just do things not being aware. So I think we should look at the part of the sexual exposure most of us are going to be exposed to a lot of sexual things.
And do you guys think it's easy or is it hard to stop smoking? Like you just said, you had to replace it with another drug. How do you think that process is?
I think for me, depending on, it's a matter of discipline. Comes back to your mentality that you want to stop this or what. So for me, for one, I think it's easy due of your discipline.
Discipline, not because you hate it.
Yeah.
Okay. For me, I don't smoke, but I don't think it's easy because I've seen people who are smoking strong drugs, but they keep on smoking them, even though they came from their rehab. So it's not easy thing. But if you tell yourself that you don't want to smoke anymore, you can stop.
How do you think that process goes like? Like, what's the first thing? Is it a self-decision or must something really, really bad happen to you before?
I think when it comes to like if you want to stop smoking, yes, I'm a smoker, but it's very easy to stop smoking. Yes, it depends on how like you willingly to do that thing. Because if you can tell me you willingly to you will like you want to do like a show, and then that show, in order for it to be like successful, you have to put your effort. You have to be there for yourself, you know. So as well as the smoking part. If you say, I want to stop smoking, and you're serious about that not like you're being pushed by someone at the back telling you have to stop smoking, which means you're not willingly to stop smoking. But if you willingly, like you want to do this thing, you can do it.
It's a matter of discipline.
I think that must firstly begin from within yourself, because if it comes from another person, you'll never quit smoking. And then there are you sometimes fear when you are supposed to quit smoking, you sometimes fear of losing the benefits of smoking. There are benefits of smoking. Like in my case, I had to choose between smoking Mandrex and then leaving Mandrex, of which Mandrex had many benefits for me in terms of my sexual behavior. You know, I performed very well, and then I was the the hot star, porn star, I would call myself. But immediately when I had to leave Mandrex, I lost some of my benefits. I wasn't the same Vuzo. I lost, those guys, those people who used to come for sexual pleasure so that's it.
Thank you, Vuzo.
Just a question of discipline. I smoke, but I only smoke from Friday, Saturday, Sunday. My colleagues can vouch for me, but the problem is when I smoke on those 3 days, like now I've got 2 20s, I finished the first one in the morning. So a day I smoke 3 just to...
So you make up for the long time.
That's the problem. I can smoke Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then on Monday I don't smoke at all. He knows. I don't smoke during the week. I smoke on weekends when I'm drinking or having fun. But when I start smoking, I light a cigarette with a cigarette.
And it does not affect your sexual life in any way?
No, it doesn't. Actually, it brings back my spark, like so he's saying. And anyway, more when I'm drinking. So it makes like the highness to become a bit faster than when I'm not smoking.
Last one.
Okay, I think if you want to quit smoking, you can, because everything starts here. This is your head off.
What were some of the questions you were asked to donate blood? Before you donated blood?
Before I donated blood, first of all, I had to know my group, my blood group.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, blood type, yes. Then, like my status, all the stuff. So yeah, those were the questions I was asked.
And they didn't go beyond that?
No, they didn't go beyond that. Like, especially about my sexuality.
Before we open to the question, I just need to ask quickly, do you guys think there's a stigma surrounding people and blood donation? Gay LGBTQ plus people and blood donating blood?
There is. I think there is a stigma. If you can check the statistics of HIV and AIDS in terms of MSM in Gauteng particularly, it's so high. So now they check those kind of things firstly. So that's why they discriminate or there's stigma based on that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also think, Leslie, a person cannot judge you without knowing your status because he's never tasted you or done anything about you. So I think for you to be sure if I can be able to donate the blood, you can never judge me firstly without like looking at me and saying, oh, okay, you cannot donate blood just because of maybe your sexuality. I think maybe you're HIV positive, or maybe you can your blood is infected with some STIs or anything. So I think in order for you to be sure about that, you have to test me first.
It's so unfortunate that a friend of mine went to donate blood, and he was obviously asked about his status. He was asked about whether he had performed sex with other men. And then I found that question very offending and very degrading in a way for such a big company like that company to ask silly questions like that. And he was denied because he was gay. He didn't donate blood, even though he fitted the criteria. He was negative and all, and he was very healthy. He ate fresh, he went to gym, and he did all the good things. But just for the mere fact that he was gay, he was denied the right of donating blood. So there is stigma.
Why do you think that happens?
I think the people are still and they still have that mentality of gay people are the ones who are mostly infected with HIV and who are at risk, and yet we are not the only group that's infected with HIV. They should also check the stats and try to be reasonable with the stats. Also, straight guys have sex with us. Some of them don't disclose that information. They do get the chance of donating blood. So what difference does it make?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say I donate blood, and one of the steps, Tina, they will take your history. They take history, like, do you smoke, do you drink, do you have any like headaches, what, and then obviously they will test you. And the stigma is so attached that it's so fry. I tested, like for an example, I tested, let's say, 3 years back, and then the next time I went to test, I went with my gay identifying friend, whom you can see that is gay. From the files that I have, I've been donating, and then there were these questions now, do you guys take drugs sexually? When was the last time you had condomless sex? After people being tested, and it was so far to such an extent, there was, I think Lesego can vouch on that since she's a journalist, black blood was once thrown away, except LGBTI. People donated tons and tons of blood, but it was thrown away because it's black blood. So,
okay. Just to throw it to everybody in the floor, based on what you said, that they were asking some very invasive questions that you felt were unnecessary. But don't you think those questions are necessary from an LGBT perspective? It's just us in here, and we can talk and we can be honest. And we do know that LGBT community, especially gay men, can be sexually reckless. We see it, we are it. And so don't you, aside from the fact that it is quite unfair and somewhat discriminatory, but as gay people, don't we ever look at ourselves and go, like, or just amongst your friends, when your friends tell you a story like, I went and did this, no span ban, because we've all had those moments within our personal spaces. So now what I'm asking is, why are we surprised? Because we know what I'm not saying they're right. Please don't get me. Maybe it's the right word. Why are we so offended, or why are we so touched when healthcare professionals do sort of scrutinize us with a magnifying glass because of this?
That I'm high risk. I will never actually waste my time and go and say I want to donate blood. Hence, out of 100, maybe LGBTIQ or MSM that they know their lifestyles and stuff will never bother themselves to go there. So I think you go there knowing that you just want to maybe help out, make a difference. I will never go there, no, I'm a junkie. I will never go there, no, I'm HIV positive. I will never go there, know that I'm a pool of STIs. I go there knowing very well that...
I personally think that the stigma around it, I had experienced that. I once went there with my friend. So when we got there, they will ask questions which are so irrelevant that they would even try 1,000 ways to kill a cat. They would say, when did you do your piercing? And unfortunately, me and my friend, we did at the very same time, but she managed to do it. Hence, I always say they would always want a way to say you can't do that. And I strongly believe that everybody, whether you're straight, you bi, you gay, you have a chance of being infected. So if I can't do it, surely you can't.
The same rules should apply for
Everyone.
Another reason, because these people still have the mentality of gay people are the most dangerous one, and they tend to forget that they also, the heterosexual people, do the things that we also do. The heterosexual people do sleep with each other in the club, and we also do that. But I don't get why do they allow them, where else they do also do what we do.
Thank you. The main thing is that firstly, I want to say reckless. It's a bit harsh, and then another thing, it's the way the community perceive us. They see us as these people who always love fun, love partying, and yet if you get to know us, we are still brothers, we are still uncles, we work, we do normal things as they do, and forgetting that being gay, it's one taboo thing, and hence we perform these sexual activities in taboo places. We are running away from stigma, and yet we can't do anything about that because we can't go to my place. I can't go to my place with my partner because my mom would go haywire, but my brother can come to my house with his girlfriend, and then everything will be okay. So I have to have sex in the bushes, and so obviously it's going to be seen as reckless.
No, I understand what you're saying. You're saying that society pushes us to have to perform these weird and sometimes dangerous acts because they don't accept us in normal spaces. So we have to operate in the abnormal spaces.
Exactly.
That's a good point, actually. Would you accept blood from someone else in this room?
No.
Yes. My
But that brings us back to what we were saying, because we're saying straight people discriminate against us, blood banks discriminate against us. Then I ask you if you'll accept blood from, and you say hell no.
Yes.
For me, it's a yes. Hell no. Let's try and cover both.
For me, it's a yes. I can accept that blood because first of all, I know exactly the person who donated the blood will never be allowed to donate that blood if it's not clean. So what's the reason of me neglecting that blood because it's clean, it's been tested? Yes, I will never know.
Yes.
But we as gay people, we look at the stigma outside. We're saying straight people. Hence, we are challenging ourselves. The problem is within us. We need to first fix inside, and then we can say, what are straight people doing? Because now it's a simple question. Are you going to take blood from someone in this room? And then you say no. Why? Because this person qualifies. Thank you very much.